Welcome to Subramani. Many of you may have read The Millionaire Next Door book, and it's a very old book. I do not know how many of you know. It's almost a previous generation book for many of you, because I think it was a book which came in the 1990s and said, look, your neighbor could be a millionaire and you don't even know about it. He could be living frugally, he could be driving a second-hand car, things like that, and you don't even think, because normally in our head, the million doesn't go much today. Even a dollar millionaire is not very rich even in India, right? It's only about 8 crores. So if you consider the value of the house and all that, today many people would be crossing 5-6 crores, so 8 crores is not very far away. Having said that, for very many people even 1 crore is a great number to achieve, but we are not getting into that. We are getting into what I think, what I have seen are the features or the characteristics of rich people and very rich people. I mean, some of them are amazingly rich. They can buy any car they want and they will drive. Even if they drive a Mercedes, they may not be driving a top line Mercedes, they may be driving a entry level Mercedes, right? So some of these things you see and you keep wondering, what are the real characteristics of the real rich? First of all, there is no peer pressure. There is no pressure that, oh, they went on a holiday to Egypt, we should also go. If he wants to go, he will go. If he doesn't want to go, he will not go. The whole family is tuned to living way below their ability to spend. So on an income of say 2 crores per year, or a portfolio of 50 crores or 70 crores, they live frugal life about 10 lakhs a year. So about 1 lakh a month kind of expense. So this I'm talking of the real super rich, but even talking of those who are in the 2 crore, 3 crore kind of net worth, or even in the 1.5, 2 crore kind of net worth, it's their whole mental attitude towards wealth which really sets them apart. So what are some of the characteristics that I have seen and I wish to share with you? Right, so there are, I mean, obviously there are very many factors which I have seen. So like I said, the first is they live well below their means. A typical millionaire next door characteristic is they live well below their means. Whatever is their income, they live on 1%, 2%, 10% of that. Right, I know CEOs of mutual funds who live on 2-3% of their annual income, right? That is their level of expense, and it is not that they can't afford to spend, they just don't spend, right? So that's how they are, and they are pretty happy making that choice, right? They use their money, their energy, their contacts and all very efficiently. So it just means that whenever they are in a position to spend more on vacations or on hobbies, etc., they very happily do it, and it does not bother them that somebody else has taken a bigger vacation or bought a bigger car. No peer pressure, right? So again, living below your means and having no peer pressure to having spent, oh, my brother spent so much, my sister spent so much, that kind of peer pressure is not there. Then they believe that for them, they always believe that financial independence is more important than showing off, right? So that means they can do whatever they want. The advantage of financial independence is that they can decide what to do, with whom to do, when to do, whether to do, right? Should I take time off to play golf? Should I spend more time and effort on my hobbies, right? So understanding that time is more important than money is something which many of these rich and super rich have definitely done. And I like this new word called economic patient outcare. Today, this is what is also called in the US and in Australia and all as boomerang living. The child goes out of the house at 18 or 19, then finds that it is not possible to live easily out in the outside world. There is no money, there is a shortage, so then they come back and live with their parents. These are what I call the boomerang kids. These people know that they don't have an economic care by their parents. So when these kids go out on their own, first of all, they live in a common house for a long time. Then when they go out on their own, they're very clear that they don't have space in this house. Therefore, they're going and they buy somewhere in the neighborhood If it's a son, then they try to stay together. If it's a daughter, of course, she's gone away. So I know a lot of people in the Gujarati and Marwadi community, they still live as a joint family. Very many people live as a joint family. Not all of them do, but yeah, but it is very unlikely that the mother, that the parents and the son live in the same city and live in different houses. And if they do, it's a rarity. In this community, it is definitely a rarity. At least among people who are in service, it's quite common to find that they're no longer a HUF, no longer a Hindu undivided family, that they've broken up. But in business families, they always live together. And these kind of rich families are normally business families that we are talking about. So again, economies of scale and having one kitchen for 3-4 people and all those things, everything. But none of this is done because they want to save money. They just want to be together, so the grandparents are together. So family values, again, Millionaire Next Door, family values. One very simple value that my friend's family has for 3 brothers. If one brother wants to change his car, he has to get the other 2 to also change their car, and at the same time the 3 of them will get a Honda City, or 3 of them will get a Toyota Corolla or a Mercedes, whatever they want. But any time when they want to buy, it is 3 television sets, it is 3 cars, it is everything is 3, right? So every bedroom has exactly the same television set, exactly the same air conditioning, exactly the same cars. They go on vacations, mostly they go on joint vacations. Of course, they go on separate vacations also. So joint vacations are always done abroad, and joint vacations are sponsored by the father. He sponsors the joint family foreign vacation, right? Otherwise, they go on individual vacations. You got to get your own space also, right? So they do all those things. Then they make sure that the children are economically self-sufficient and not overindulgent. So children will travel by train, children will travel by plane. If they go by plane, they may not even have lounge access. They may not travel business class. But when the family elders travel, then they travel in far greater comfort. They would travel business class and beyond a particular age and longer distance. Like for example, the patriarch and the mother of the family, when they went abroad last time, they went first class. They can afford it, but the question is, the characteristic is the amount of money that they spend on things like travel is a fraction of their dividend income, not even their total income, right? So money is not the driver, comfort is the driver. They obviously know how to make money. They target marketing opportunities. They know which kid should do what kind of education. Very well informed. I have known somebody who paid money to a professor in a college to come home and give children a talk on what career opportunities they should pursue, including whether to be in their own business. Not very many families are willing to do that. So he said, the patriarch said, suggest a name. I suggested a name. They paid the professor money to come home, have lunch with them and give them guidance. I thought that was a very sensible thing to do. Not very many business families also do that. Some of them do, but not everybody does that. So some of these things, so the right attitude, right business, should they be in this business, should they get out of that business, right? Should they take up jobs? Somehow they seem to be paying money to get good quality advice to do all this. So this is some of the characteristics that I have seen. I'm not even saying I've exhausted it. So I'm not even saying they will always have arranged marriage and things like that. I don't know. But these are some of the characteristics that I have seen, and these people could be very rich. They could be having portfolios of a crore to 10 crores to 20 crores to much higher amounts. So this is what they do. I'm not even saying that you should travel by public transport like some of these people do, or drive a cheap car. Recently, a friend of mine bought a car for about 1 crore 35, hired an expensive driver. I said, it's worth it because you have the money, you want safety, you want good comfort, and you want a good driver. So why not? Why would you travel by a cheap car? So he bought that argument. The guy was to buy a 10 lakh rupee car, who suddenly ended up paying 1.3 crores for a car. But it was worth it because he was traveling a lot. And that back comfort and the traveling comfort and the driving comfort, he really enjoys this new toy, and he can afford it, right? So the question is, only after you can afford it should you consider these things, not out of borrowing, right? Thank you.